my Chaimish anyway. The shal is, are you going to be in my Rolodex or is he going to be in my Rolodex? That's the difference. What? Some people are cynical. There are a lot of people that are not cynical, and there are people that are cynical. By the way, the end of the story is he gave the building. $360,000 he gave the building, he wrote a check. The guy spent 6 months with him. The next thing he did is he brought him down to the campus. He showed him what they do. The next thing he did, he had him come and tell his story to the whole college campus. And there was a question and answers. The next thing he did is he had him have lunch with some of the students. And then when it came down to it, the person said to him, what do you want from me? And he says, we need a building. He says, we got it. He wrote a $360,000 check. He had patience. Now, I'm not saying you should have patience with everybody like that. I'm giving you a person. If you have a person who you can get $18,000 from, or $26,000 from, or $50,000 from, Zos nicht meinen that in one conversation you're going to get $50,000. Maybe it's going to happen 1 in a million. If you go to that person and you walk away with $500, you blew an opportunity. You blew an opportunity. You can make one of two choices. You can take the $500 today and like I said out of cash, or you can invest in a relationship that will hopefully net you a lot more. I encourage you to think about that when you go into somebody. How do I approach this individual? What's my strategy? No, it doesn't. Doesn't have much fun. Yeah.
People are asking if you can make a recap of just three set of people. Mention specific village and how they can succeed in small business owners and successful business.
And some references, which books to start reading.
Okay, so they want to recap. We're starting with people that are salaried workers.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I told them
Because upload no drawback.
And someone who's on a salary and is earning a wage has several options. Yes. I don't know any visions of mass. I grew up in Vioil. Was all team. If you're on a wage, you have to be honest with yourself. Is what you're doing tachlis or is it not tachlis? In other words, if the wage that you're earning today is not going to grow along with your expenses, the younger you are, the better off you are in making changes in your life. If you're making $40,000 or $50,000 a year, and you're not gaining new skills, and all you're going to earn is raises from here on, and Baruch Hashem, the mishpucha wächst, you have to make chasanis, you have to make bar mitzvahs. What should I tell you? You have to think about doing something else. You either have to expand yourself within what you're doing, right? So I'll give you an example. I worked years ago for a company, and there was a young man there who used to do the computers. He did networking, and the young man watched how I used to go out and make sales calls. Baruch Hashem, I was matzliach. Ik maak dan lieflijk, ik maak $40,000, $50,000. One day I called him into the office. I said to him, listen, Tachlis, you're not going to make a living doing what you do. Machtig nishnach. Leid de grootste tieve zichti, es te maken kan je zo beredig. Echt kennis, it's so hard. I'm embarrassed, I'm humiliated. Alle trietsen in de welt. I told him, tell me right now. One day it's going to be too late. Kies jetzt. Do it now before it's too late. When the bist dich jing, when the kennst dich noch tauschen, is the time to do it. Verlaat sich nicht auf Knissen. And he listened to me. And he started coming to my office every day, and he used to sit in the corner, and he used to listen to my phone calls. He used to record my phone calls. He used to write down what I did. My boss would not hire him because he was a computer guy. But he got the chutzpah, he quit his job, and he went out and he got a sales job. I met this young man a few years ago, and he told me I'm married to Kitzliach. He said, I'm telling you, if not for that conversation that you had with me years ago, but the computer network I wouldn't be making any money. So there's no good way to say it. If you can't expand within the business that you are in, if you're working in a cubicle and you're moving paper from the left side of the desk to the right side of the desk, it doesn't matter what you're doing. I'm not making crazy. I'm saying that what you're doing is very, very specific, and there's no room for expansion. There's no room for you to learn other things in the business. You can't get involved in sales. You can't get involved in marketing. You can't get involved in purchasing. You can't meet with clients. And all you're doing is that little thing in the back. You have to think about doing something else. Because tachlis, right now, it might be enough. But 10 years from now, you're going to wake up one day and you're like, that I'm talking to salaried people. But versteht sich, if you could learn the business that you're in, and then you can go work for somebody else in the same business. Or you can walk into your boss and say, listen, let me get involved in sales. I know I'm not a salesman. Let me spend 2 hours a day doing sales. I think I could do it. And if I do it, I want to slowly move from whatever it is I'm doing to going into sales. I can't do it in one day because I need the panusa. But I'm going to move slowly from this to this. Every boss wants another salesperson on staff. Whatever it is you're doing that salary, he can replace you. Not a salesman, any day of the week they're going to hire you. Think about how can I build a Kali Machzik Brucha. That's what it is. If you're not in a situation where it's a Kali Machzik Brucha, then you have to find yourself one. People that are in business, Baruch Hashem, they have a Kali Machzik Brucha. A business is a Kali Machzik Brucha. And the difference between sales and business is very simple. In business, you have inventory, you have payroll. In sales, you don't have inventory, you don't have payroll. Ich such for jeder, was dort angegangen in business. Guide out of sales. My shver, I was in sales, I was making more money than my shver. My shver came to me one day and says the biggest mistake he made was he left sales, he was working for somebody else as a broker, and it's chukef in the eigene business. Now he was an avid to his business. Payroll was his problem, paper was his problem, inventory was his problem, ink was his problem. I had no problems. My problem was I had to get the customer in, I had to make sure they paid. Everything else was his problem. Most industries. The boss has more gray hair than the salespeople. Now, a successful business, the CEO will ultimately make more than the salespeople. But it's a risk. So business is a Kali Machzik Brucha. Sales is a Kali Machzik. So if you're a business and you're just starting out, okay, it's everything that I talked about. Know what you're good at and know what you're not good at. What you're not good at, either delegate to somebody else or make sure you learn it on your own. Businesses fail because the CEOs have to know too many different things. By the way, if I started my own business, it would go bankrupt. It would go bankrupt. I know I can't be a business owner. Because the Chamish can get dealt for operations. You know what operations means? I have no nerve for it. It makes me sick. The whole operation, the hiring and the this and the time and the machinery and the inventory, I have no patience for it. I have patience for clients. I have patience for those types of things. The Chamish can patience for operations. If I went into business, I have to take a partner that's going to do the operations part. But if you're a CEO, you have to be the bookkeeper, you have to be the salesperson, you have to be the customer relationship person, you have to be the inventory manager, you have to be the operations manager, and sometimes people think they're good at everything and they find that they're not. So there are very good books on this. Books that will train you or teach you the different things that you need to be good at to be a business owner. And then find a mentor. And here it's easy. In the Heimische community, successful business owners will spend time with you. I used to spend time with business owners looking at how they're conducting their sales and marketing and give them advice. I used to bring people in. There's so many retired business people. In America, we have a program called EPI, Emergency Panos Initiative, which I was involved in. And they pair up successful business owners or retired business owners with current business owners. In America, in the US, there's a Goyish program called SCORE, where you apply and they pair you up with a retired executive from a business of whatever you were in, and the person gives you a few hours a week or whatever it is, and he gives you advice on how to build your business. So the Ingalat here, it's no different. Building a business or building yourself is the same thing. Learn from that side, know where your chisroinus are, and before you go into business, so those of you who want to spring around the business, I encourage you to also learn the Vienna's Bud for 3 to 5 years before you do it. Learn the chos, work in the business, get involved in sales, work for somebody else, see how a business works, see how it operates, see the mistakes that other people make so that you won't make the same mistakes. Don't spring around. The first thing is start a business. Unless your shred has so much money he doesn't care if you lose it, I'm telling you, read the rule but fail. Successful business owners must keep doing what you're doing and teach others how to do it. You said what? How could a wage earner be a kind of master book? If you can expand. How could a wage earner be a kind of master book? You could. You could if you build human capital. Right? If you go from a wage earner that does one thing to a wage earner that does 5 things, and you go from making 30,000 to 150,000, and there's room for expansion, then you have a kind of master plan. But if your boss or the industry that you're in doesn't allow you, and the only way you can move is lateral and up, then you have a problem. Absolutely. 100%. He's saying that every boss will hire the warehouse worker who's been in the business for a couple of years and knows the business to go out and do sales. I want to tell you one thing about sales. I'm a big fan of it. I teach this, the High Machine Galat, because I don't know anything else that a person could start doing right after they get up tomorrow morning. Be honest. Right after, tomorrow morning, any of you can find a sales job. Commission-only sales jobs are all over the place. A person doesn't have to have any experience, doesn't have to have any college degrees. He can pick up a phone and make his future. And nobody will ever take a job away from you. You ever hear a company, we're downsizing, we're firing all our salespeople. Shit. Nobody fires salespeople. You fire everybody else and you hire more salespeople. The economy's terrible. No jobs. There's no jobs. There's millions of sales jobs. Every single company needs salespeople. More and more and more. You're never going to walk into the office and find out that a younger person is taking your job. Because the older you are, the better you are at sales. The more contacts you have. The more you know about the industry. The more of a reputation you have. The more you've refined yourself. They can't take a job and send it to India. Salespeople always have to be here. No matter what industry you're in, you're going to have a job. And if your industry cracks, you go to another industry. Product is on e-commerce. Services are not. I told you, if you're going to buy a cell phone case, you're going to buy it on eBay. You don't buy a life insurance policy on eBay. You don't buy things that you need somebody to have a conversation with you about and somebody to hear you out before you buy it on eBay. Some people buy very high ticket items on eBay, but still a lot of people want to sit down with a human being and have a discussion.
I'm a salesman.
Yeah.
I go down to a big building.
Yeah.
And I offer them my service. I want to put them in the sprinkler system. I don't know how long it will take. The workload is going to take. How many, how much the project is. So how...
You're not a salesperson. You're not.
In front van de Barro's.
When I go down, I give them...
When I went down in printing, I was a mumcha. I became a mumcha. I knew what paper they should use, what press they should run it on. I knew the exact size that they should use. I learned it. I went to all the people in the business. I read the books. You're trying to sell a sprinkler system? Yeah? Yeah, you want to sell me a sprinkler system? Did you read the manual?
I'm not I work for him. He's in the commission. I'm the commissioner for him.
Now you want to be a salesperson?
No, I'm not just salesperson. I know of the job that somebody is doing construction. So I went to him and I told him, this guy's doing construction. I don't
Need
know.
my stand?
I could call this guy.
Here, yes.
I'm asking for this guy.
One second.
I can't give pricing.
Who gives pricing?
He sends down the sprinkler technician to give a quote. I can call up the guy, give me an appointment to meet this sprinkler technician.
Do you know everything there is to know about the sprinkler system?
No, I know nothing.
That you could learn? Do you know the sprinkler system? Through and through. That's what you need to know when you go down and make a sales call. In your business, they don't expect you to give a price. I didn't give price calls now. I should have given you.
Wacht een beetje, hij zei.
But I have to know everything.
Hij is aan de hotdog te doen.
No, if you do, you're not a salesperson. You have to learn what he knows so you can do what he does. Then you're a salesperson. Now you're just a shicking. I'm not saying no, but a shicking will only make $7 an hour. You're going to learn to be a salesman. You're going to be a salesman that installs. It's a steamer. One second. Who makes more money, the installers or the salespeople? Repeat. Who makes more money, the installers or the salespeople? The salespeople. But who makes more money, salespeople or installers? Who makes more money in my firm, the portfolio managers or the financial advisors?
Makes more money, but,
What?
but a good installer also makes a lot of money.
Didn't say. Can you be a good installer and a salesperson at the same time? Yes. What would I rather hire? A person who sells me the product and installs it, or sells me the product and then sells somebody else to install it, and then when something's not right, I have to go track you down? Who would I rather buy from? A person who says, I have installed 50 of these systems myself with these two hands. Or, my company knows how to do this very well. I have no idea how they do it, but they do it. Who am I buying from? So, die salesman is the That's exactly what I'm talking about. A technician is nicht a Kalimastik-Bruch. A salesman is. Because if he sells 20 sprinkler systems this month, he's going to make X, and if he sells 25, he's going to make Y. You can only install so many sprinkler systems. Right? So that's the difference. He could leverage, you can't. You know what leverage means? Right, you have no leverage. A person is out with the hand. A person that works with his hands and is using his time can only make so much money. He gets 20 sales calls, puts in 20 sprinklers, the 20 people call him up, call up their friends and say, Rifun Chayim Moshe, he's got the best sprinkler systems. He's sitting at home and the phone is ringing. That's called leverage. And he's out there 20 years and everybody knows, get a sprinkler, go in.
I know you leave that.
Now when I go through it or when I started?
Both.
So I was in the Rishonos. When I started, I was in the office every day. 8 o'clock. For the first few years, I worked like a machine. Now, Baruch Hashem, it's landing the free. I never step in the office before 10 o'clock, except for us Monday mornings. I don't go in on Friday. 2 years, Baruch Hashem. I learn on Friday. My phone, my BlackBerry, ich habe mich schon aufgebaut an business. And Baruch Hashem, I have 3 associates. Ich habe jetzt ein apartment herangebracht. And Baruch Hashem. But for years, I schwitzed. Remember, I got into finance if I was in sales for 10 years or 12 years before that. They came looking for me. As a person that could speak to people and help them with their situations. It wasn't just that I was in finance in other areas before I came to where I am. But ultimately, the bottom line is sales is the business of people. If you're in the business of people and you get better at it, then you can sell higher and higher ticketed price.
Excuse me. Let me ask you, what kind of sales books do you recommend? We spoke before about books because I read a lot of different books. Everybody gives different strategies that were totally different one from another. Is there a mahala that you think that from all these books?
So the question is, what's the right sales book to read?
No, there's a lot. You go on Amazon, there's probably thousands.
There's 1,000 books on sale.
Yeah, how do I know which ones are good?
So Eskatua Yanimaski Rayon. There's so many different sales books out there. How does he know which ones to read? Eskatua Yanimaski Rayon. I've never read a sales book. I learned sales by trial and error. What I told you is to read books on business.
Business and sales, it's the same thing.
If you're going to read books on sales, there is a book by a guy by the name of Brian Tracy. It's the only book I would tell you to read. It's called Advanced Selling Strategies. The only reason I'm telling you to read the book is that there was a person who sat through one of my sales seminars once. She came up to me. She's a fundraiser. Is he still here?
Yeah.
Fundraiser. She raised $300 million for a capital campaign in California. And she told me that much of my technique is in that book. And she bought me the book. I have it in my office. I skimmed through it. And I saw the chapter headings. And I think that he has very similar ideas to me. So, read sales books. So first of all, let me tell you on your side. Sales is not a one-size-fits-all pair of shoes. Jeder Mensch darf sich stellen seine Gescheinis and his nature to sales. There's no one way to do it. You can't do what I do, and I can't do what you do. Advanced Selling Strategies. The guy's name is Brian Tracy. It's supposed to be a mighty common. So you have to read books, and if the guy says, do this, and you just don't feel that that's who you are, don't do it. There are certain things that people do that I know are successful that I just don't believe fit my personality, my mode of operation. They don't fit who I am. What? You have to adjust. You have to take ideas from different people. Not don't do something because it's hard for you. Do something because you don't feel it's going to work for you. There are certain things that work for some people. So for example, I can end this session by giving each of you my business card. I'm telling you, if you know a Gavir in Montreal who needs to have his money managed, you should please give him my business card. The truth of the matter is, I'd rather shoot myself before I do that. Now, do people do it? Of course they do. They do it all the time. Would I do it? No way. When I meet with somebody, I do not give them my business card. When I'm leaving, if they don't ask you for my business card, they don't get it. You know these people, right away, they meet you, they stick their business card in your face, and the really cheesy ones give you 3 copies, like you should give them out to your friends in Shield. Du hast my business card. So they give you finish. Yeah, see it. Does that fly? I don't give my business card. When I meet with somebody, I do not give them my business card. If you lost my business card, that's okay. Usually in meeting else, I'm sorry, Mark, I don't have a business card. Oh, okay, I give you my business card. So you have a business card? I think I have a business card. You have to ask me for my business. I'm not giving you my business card. That's the way I conduct myself. Now, is it right? Is it wrong? It's me. There's no right, there's no wrong. If it's somebody else giving up business cards, that's a good idea. It doesn't work for me. So if I read in a book that you should make sure to give everybody a business card, I'm going to say, Shkoyesh with Noich, but I'm not giving people my business card. Right?
What's the logic behind it?
What's the logic? Because I have always sold myself on a platform of exclusivity. Okay? Ich bin about that. You want, the ship is going down, everybody has to talk about the Nisyonis and the lives. Ich bin about that, whenever she can. I'm about that. Die willst my business card as in the bank. Ich bin a Galatian.
You mean the money behind
it? You know how much this business card costs?
2 cents.
4 cents. As in the bank. The bank's finished together. No, but truthfully, exclusivity, when you are going for it, When you know that you're good at what you do, and you know that you're better than most other people, and you know that people know that you're good, you could be exhausted. Right?
Yeah.
Of course not. It didn't take very long until I knew more about the printing industry than any other salesperson. And I knew that if that person hires me, I'll tell you a real story, okay? I wasn't going to sleep in it.
So, could I please have your business card?
When I was working for my shver, I got a call 1 year from Agudas Yisroel. Agudas Yisroel wanted me to print a dinner journal for them on one wall.
Taka Galaziano.
What's the name before you start? What's the name again of that book?
Advanced Selling Strategies, Brian Tracy. So Agudas Yisroel called me up to print a book for them. It's a big book. It was a dinner journal. And, you know, the in the Heimish Moistus, you can't make a dollar. So they cut me down to the bone, and I printed a book this thick. I slept in the office on a cot, believe those were the presses were going 24 hours a day. When the journal was finished, we delivered it on time, and it was perfect. It's not perfect. Next year, the head of that builder called Shlomo Gortzman, and he says to me, Naftali, I want to quote this year's dinner journal. I said, sure. I went into my share, I said, full price. So, full priced it, sent him the bid. A few weeks later, Shlomo Gortzman calls me up and says, Naftali, you were the highest quote that we got.
SHOES.
I said, okay, so don't use us.
At
His were his words. That's not an option. We have to negotiate. So I told you this, I'm willing to negotiate a little, but the reality is that I'm not doing this journal for free again. If I don't make a good review on this journal, Zayim is in to give it to somebody else. And from that point forward, the tables turned. You know what means the tables turned? And from that point forward, any job I did wasn't just for them. So what I have to do is, in the beginning, you have to demonstrate that you are fantastic, that you are special, that you are not easily replaced. Prove yourself. Once you have proved yourself, slowly the tables turn. Once the tables turn, you don't have to worry about somebody else nickel and diming you. You don't have to somebody else is going to steal away your client. You keep doing what you're doing, and the person knows very well that they're getting value. So in the beginning, you start by proving yourself. When you prove yourself, you can start developing a platform of exclusivity. And when you are on a platform of exclusivity, you have made it. You've made it in the industry. And in every industry, there are people that operate on that platform. And then there are people that are only trying to give you $1 less on the job, because that's the only way they can get their money. And that's a very, very difficult way to make a living. That matter?
One question. Someone that makes a living, you will unskilled for
I was a bedanken für den Naftula. Größte Steuer, ich gang da normale jetzt. Mega raus, der kann, dass der Naftula noch Zeit, Apomel Center, Shira Mabach.